What is up, guys? Showing up the King here, back with another video, and today, man, oh man, I am going to debunk the latest episode of Death Battle, Ben 10 versus Green Lantern. I knew it, again, like, guys, but this is on a whole nother level of fuckery from Screw Attack and Death Battle. I have not seen a poorly researched, poorly executed death battle since Toph versus Gaara or Goku versus Superman. I'm sorry, not even Goku versus Superman, because Goku versus Superman being as strong as he is, that fight could have legitimately went in either way. In memory, the only two death battles where they just flat out had incorrect information and were just basically, you can tell they were pandering to the crowd to get more views. So let me, and I'll get to that. So the last time they've done something like that was Toph versus Gaara, where Gaara should have won that hands down. And Majin Buu versus Kirby. Again, bullshit. So essentially in this death battle, and again, if you want the full, I did a live reaction that I uploaded last night. You guys can check out the video in my timeline. Again, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, all that good shit. I just wanted to get this video out, you know, vlog style, so I can just kind of move on with my day. So the battle happens, and they try, and the way that they depict Hao winning is by cutting off his arm with a scissor construct. The problem with that is, and again, I said this in my live reaction, is that number one, and first and foremost, the Omnitrix has fail-safes that will not allow Ben to die. So I guess their thought is that the Omnitrix can't prevent him from dying if you cut off his arm. Again, the problem with that is that you cannot just cut off Ben's arm. The Omnitrix will automatically transform him into an alien to prevent that from happening. So if Hao uses a light construct to turn into a pair of scissors, his body could turn into Goop or Diamond Head. Or just use the aura feedback that they use in an actual battle to deflect a pair of scissors. So that would not work. So that's the first thing. Then they try to say that Hao crossed the universe in an hour, and Ben doesn't have that kind of feat with his slowest form. So they try to pull out his slowest form and try to say, oh, this alien is fast, but he's never crossed the universe in an hour. And I'm like, Jet Ray has basically moved at a warp speed numerous of times. So yeah, you can't just cherry pick one of Ben's slowest aliens and try to use that as a feat when you clearly know, if you've done your research, that he's had an alien that has traveled across the universe as fast, or if not faster. Jet Ray. Next, then they try to say, oh, you know, Diamond Head is strong, but he could never survive a nuclear, he couldn't survive a planet level explosion. Even if that is the case with Diamond Head, again, Ben has taken a big bang to the face in human form and did not die. And again, which leads me into the biggest atrocity. Alien X could. Alien X is omnipotent. He has infinite power. If Ben were to turn into Alien X, it is over. How Jordan could not physically punch him, Alien X would not even react. That's like basically Alien X, to put it in DC terms, Alien X is essentially Dr. Manhattan. So you're trying to tell me that Hal Jordan could beat Dr. Manhattan? No. No. And again, if Alien X was going to erase Hal Jordan, he would have just erased him. It wouldn't have been painfully slow to give him enough time to react. He would have blinked and he would have been gone. Gone. Before Hal would have even realized what was happening, gone. You're gone. He could have turned him into jelly. He could have turned him into a cookie. He could have turned his ass into a goddamn yellow brick. Like, he can warp reality, space, and time. And they depict Alien as reversing time and then just punching Hal Jordan. Why wouldn't Alien X just turn around after he rewound time and blam, snapped him into existence faster than he could even understand what was going on? It's done. Like, what Death Battle did, and this is what the point I was trying to make earlier in the video, what Death Battle did was they tried to nerf Alien X to get the fandom riled up. They knew if this was a quick Alien X wins, Death Battle, it's over, they probably would have got a couple 100,000 views on it, but that would have been it. They wouldn't have, now that the video is controversial, kind of like a la, anytime they do anything having to do with comics and anime, this kind of stuff happens. Because, you know, the fandom is huge for Ben 10. So they knew if we can write it in a way that lets Ben 10 lose, we'll get more and more views. And that's the only reason why they did this, is so that they can get a lot more views on a video. They don't care about the comments and what people think about their research. Because, again, at the end of the day, they don't really have to defend it. They can probably do the Death Battle podcast after the fact, and they can try to sideways explain it some more. But again, at the end of the day, Alien X, and the fact that if Alien X duplicated himself, it's not like Naruto shadow clones where his energy gets distributed across them, and it's just the clones are not as strong as the actual original. If Ben duplicates himself, that's 1,000 Alien X's of the same exact power. They're not going to just disappear from getting punched. So, and again, what I want you guys to do, there's a guy, and I really want him to, because he is basically the foremost expert that's not a creator on Ben 10. And it's basically the Inkwell. And his name is Kuro. He basically did a debunk that came out before the Death Battle even was officially released on YouTube. And Death Battle asked him to take it down until they actually officially released it on YouTube, which he did. But basically, he did like a 15-minute video explaining basically some of the same things that I did, but more in depth. And again, you guys need to go and check his video out. I'll link it in the description below at some point today. But definitely take a look at his video, because he basically debunked the shit out of Death Battle and basically make them look like a bunch of idiots. Like, as far as debunking goes, and it comes to Ben 10, you won't find anything better on the internet in regards to this particular Death Battle, because again, he basically took contradictions in the Death Battle video and used it against Death Battle in the same video. So Death Battle tried to say that Ben couldn't survive a planet level explosion. They said that at the end of the video to try to see about his durability, but at the very beginning of the video, when they're doing their actual feats for Ben, they say in that video that Ben stopped the Big Bang and then used it as an attack against another fighter. In the same video. So how is it that he can't survive a planet-level explosion, but at the beginning of the video you say he survived the Big Bang, which created a fucking reality? How does that make any sense? And they didn't even show him use clockwork. Clockwork could have basically just shot him with a time beam and aged Hal Jordan out of existence. Ben could have used his big brain, which basically they even say how big his IQ was, and he could have easily had just snapped his fingers with clockwork, gave Hal Jordan Alzheimer's disease, and then basically just used it so that his mind couldn't just react the same way to use his powers. He could have just thought about some creative shit like that. So in conclusion, this death battle was bullshit. But again, this is what I expect from death battle, because again, they need controversy to get their views up. Ain't nobody care about no King Dedede versus Wario. Ain't nobody care about none of that shit. So this is how they got to get their views. And again, I get it. This is all entertainment. It's not the end of the world. But if you're gonna do your death battle, you know there are gonna be people out there to call you out on this shit. You guys just basically were sloppy. You didn't even take the time to properly back up your own shit. So like, if you were to try to argue this case in court, you would lose, because you literally contradicted yourself. But again, that's it for me. Rate, comment, subscribe. This is Showed Up the King. I'll holler at y'all later.